Darraminya Badu Wiradjuri, Yawanadi, Glen Lockery. I'm proud to be Wiradjuri and my name is Glen Lockery. And I acknowledge the traditional people of this land on which we meet here in St Paul's Cathedral, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we acknowledge their elders who have cared for this place from the beginning, from the creation. I'm standing next to a series of posters that reflect to the 2019 Citizens' Inquiry into the health of the Barker or Darling River in New South Wales and the Menindee Lakes. One of the things that I noticed in that set of posters, which reflect the stories of individuals who were affected by no water being in the Darling or Barker River and no water being in the Menindee Lakes, is a comment by one of them, which is just here, which says, Indigenous people should be sitting at the table with ministers, making the right decisions. That's an important part of the idea that comes out of the voice, out of the statement of heart, from the heart, which was signed at Uluru in 2017. The Uluru Statement of the Heart asks for a voice embedded in the Constitution, and a voice to Parliament about issues that relate to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It is about having a place at the table where you can actually speak out of your own sovereignty over your land into issues that matter to us. It allows people like those in this poster to be able to speak about the need for appropriate policies, practices in relation to water in this country. Barker and the Menindee Lakes are simply an example of what happens in several other places around Australia in relation to water, and the fact that the traditional owners have very little say in what happens to water. Water for them is more than just a utilitarian product. It is and contains and carries their knowledge and their wisdom, their traditions and their practices, their laws and their spirituality. It has more to do with who they are than simply what will water the garden. The difficulty in these situations, and it's not just about the fact that there was no water for a period of time, it was about the fact that when the water came back in 2021, it was still unusable by human beings. It was still unable to be swum in, drunk, or used on gardens because of decisions made in how that water is used in other places. So what we're asking for in the voice, as part of the statement from the heart, is that we get the opportunity to sit and talk about issues such as these, issues which are both practical and spiritual, issues which are vital to the life of Indigenous people of Australia. So the voice is not simply an academic practice, or is it a tokenistic practice. It is, in fact, a vital cultural and spiritual ideal that needs to be made practical and appropriate to the circumstances in which we find ourselves. Again, I'll read this again. Indigenous people should be sitting at the table with ministers, making the right decisions. Hear our voice.